Hi, and in this video I'm going to be showing you around the new TX-NR3010 high-end AV receiver. So let's start off by taking a look at the front of the receiver. The first thing you'll notice about the 3010 are the clean lines with very few buttons on show. Here we have the recessed power button along with the pure audio button. Now when this is engaged, it will actually shut off all of the circuits apart from the stereo left and right channel. No DSP processing, just straight 2-channel hi-fi. This will give you the purest stereo playback possible. Also, when you turn the pure audio mode button on, the whole front panel display will actually go out until you touch a button or the volume control. Again, reducing more noise in the circuit and ending up with a better quality sound. Next up are the input buttons. They're all labelled and they run across the front of the receiver, just below the display. And located just to the right of the display, the illuminated volume dial. You can actually turn off this illumination by using the dimmer button on the remote. Now we come to the less used buttons, and we've hidden these underneath a discrete front panel. So from running from left to right, we have the Zone 2 and Zone 3 activate and off buttons, tone controls, the monitor out button which allows you to change the output configuration, display button and the setup button. Then we have the navigation pad which allows you to move around the setup menus and also allows you to operate the tuner side of things. Along with the memory and tuning mode buttons, we then have the preset listening mode buttons, and these allow you to scroll through particular DSPs, a whole house mode which will turn on Zone 2 and Zone 3 playing the same content as in the main zone, and then we have the auxiliary input along the bottom which has an HDMI which supports MHL and the USB port which supports iPod and iPhone. Right, here we are at the back of the 3010. It's quite busy, but let's get started. First up is the rear USB port and the Ethernet connection. And then below these we have 3 digital inputs and 2 optical inputs. Running nearly most of the width of the back of the unit are 8 HDMI inputs, plus the one on the front. That means you can connect 9 HDMI devices. It has 2 outputs. The main output supports audio return channel from supported TVs, but also the sub output can also be selected in the menu as a Zone 2 output, which means you can have 2 video sources playing at the same time, but they can be different. So you can be watching cable in one room and a DVD or a Blu-ray in another. And not forgetting the PC input on the right hand side. Next are the 2 component video inputs, and we actually have a monitor output. But don't forget, all of the component and HDMI inputs are fully assignable to any physical input on the front of the unit. There's also an IR in, so if you're going to hide the unit in a cupboard, you can run an IR sensor from outside into the cupboard, into the back of the receiver, and we have the RI control lead for proprietary Onkyo products. We have an RS-232 connection if you're using systems such as AMX or Crestron. And then we still have legacy connections, stereo connections for analog devices, along with composite video inputs, and these can be scaled up to HDMI. One of the major differences with the 3010 though is the full implementation of DTS Neo X, which allows up to a full 11.4 channels. Here subwoofer 1 is actually split into 2 connections and sub 2 is split into 2 connections, allowing you to directly connect 4 subwoofers. Also, all of the pre-outs are available and active depending on the speaker configuration that you have. So by using external power amps you can actually achieve full 11.4 speakers. And I'll be showing you how to do this correctly in a later how-to video. And then finally we have the 12-volt triggers for Zone 2 and Zone 3 with a composite video Zone 2 output, and if you're running separate amplifiers in different rooms you can actually run a preamp signal from Zone 2 or Zone 3 off to those amps and enjoy music in either of those zones. Well, I hope you've enjoyed taking this first look around the TX-NR3010, and I'll see you soon. Take care, bye bye.